Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got ourselves a little Call of Duty video. No, I haven't played Call of Duty on this channel in a while, but we are today, and I think it's time for me to go on a little bit of a rant. This year's Call of Duty will come out, like October 28th, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, on YouTube, on anywhere saying that it's going to be the savior of Call of Duty. But I'm here to make sure that you don't get all your hopes up and rely on this Call of Duty game to be as good as some people are saying that it will be. So I'm gonna jump into a pub, team deathmatch. I can already see I got some sweaty people in here, so I'll try to focus up. I got a small list. I'm just gonna rant about things that I think are wrong with Call of Duty and what I think they need to make sure that they perfect or fix or this or that. So if you guys are ready, make sure you smack that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're almost to 60 subscribers. I might already be there by the time you're watching this video, but would really appreciate it, and let's get into it. All right, we got Eagle's Nest. This is a map from the beta, so this is one of the oldest maps in this game, if you're counting that. So I think that's a good segue to get into talking about the maps and also talking about the spawn. One thing that Call of Duty has seemed to have been struggling with the last few years is maps, and just like the last Call of Duty game, it basically had to rely on old maps and remastered maps just for competitive to be playable. What is that guy doing? I don't want to get into that situation again where we're hoping that Call of Duty can come out with some cool maps, some good classic 3-lane maps, so everything can be fun like they used to be. Now we got maps like this where everything is destructible. Everything is destructible. And you can also, oh my god, this guy is literally just standing here the whole game. Everything's destructible. Sorry, I'll get it out. I promise. And there's like 9 different lines of sights for each lane. There's weird cuts in the map that shouldn't be there. And just stuff like that. It makes everything so it doesn't really flow properly. In my opinion, I almost felt the map there. But I know deep down that Call of Duty knows a good structure of maps, of how to make maps, and a good process in making a map, and making sure that it's good and it flows right. So I have faith that they always will know how to do that at least a little bit. And they give us some classic good Call of Duty maps. I'm always a fan of them bringing back old maps and remastering them and stuff, but when you have to do it like 3 or 4 maps in one Call of Duty just to save it and kind of even out all the bad maps, so it makes it look like, oh wow, this game actually didn't have that many bad maps, when realistically it did. If you kind of get what I'm saying. But I think it all starts with maps and gunplay and stuff and little things like that. It's like the core things that make Call of Duty Call of Duty, or the maps, the guns, just like the gunplay, the moving around, the running. And one thing that they haven't really been good at lately is making good spawns, like a good spawn system. Look at that. I was just spawning up, or they were just spawning up all around me, and I literally had to fight my way to survive. Like, just from their spawn, like they were spawning on me. And one thing that they brought into Modern Warfare 2019 is the first time that it was presented is squad spawning. And basically it's like, I call it crush spawning. Also, if I'm trying to explain it to somebody. And basically what that means in a kind of dumbed down version is basically Call of Duty wants you to spawn as close to the objective point if you're playing an objective game. So I'll use hardpoint as an example. They want you to spawn as close to the hardpoint as you can, and they want you to spawn on your teammates, so you're in a more favorable position off spawn. And they don't want you to have to figure out where to go, figure out a good route, do this, do that. Basically, when it comes into competitive, it literally just ruins it for me and for the experience. You'll spawn on top of each other. It'll just make everything so more or less predictable than your classic spawn method. So if they take away some squad spawning and they kind of tweak it a little bit, or they just get rid of it altogether, and I think that would be huge for the franchise, and especially competitive, which I am a big advocate for that. So That's my main reasoning behind me wanting squad spawnings. Squad spawns to go. And we're gonna talk about gameplay. The new game is obviously still in the same engine, or I think it's like, what is it, on Unreal 5 engine or something? But the engine's always gonna get better, and we saw that. Oh my goodness, we saw that with the release of Modern Warfare 19, where they have the new engine. Everything feels weird. It feels different. You can feel your character moving around. It's like tough. You can see the gun moving weird. Or not weird, like differently. This is new. So they have the new engine, and that brings some new gameplay mechanics. And they added in Tacto Sprint, which you can definitely quote me on this. You've seen me bitch about it on Twitter. You've seen me bitch about it in videos anywhere on my stream. Tac Sprint is probably the worst thing, in my opinion, that they added to the gameplay mechanics. And I think it just makes everything more inconsistent, because you have your tac sprint, your normal sprint, and your walk. Like, it kind of feels nice to be able to run around, and it also creates slide canceling. You can slide cancel around the map. Like, it might feel like nice once you get used to it, and it might feel smooth, but it really just causes so many inconsistencies, and it kind of prevents you from like tactically playing like certain situations, in my opinion. But instead, they got you playing on Bocage, and you're just tac sprinting across the map in 5 seconds, and there's no real strategy to that. So tac sprint needs to go. The spawns need to be fixed drastically. The movement in the gunplay is fine, other than the tac sprint. I'll get into the guns and like the attachments and the systems like that once I get into another map. And then maps, like I said, maps are always a huge thing. Take away the destructible walls, which I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that they have been, so fingers crossed on those. No more destructible walls, doors, everything like that. They might still have doors. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, which I'm okay with doors as long as it's not super glitchy like it has been, where like a door's shut but it looks closed, or a door's shut but it looks open, shit like that. It's just little buggy things that they seem to not fix, especially when they're adding so many different layers to the maps and different layers to the gunplay and the movement and everything. It just creates inconsistencies and like takes away from the real skill, if you ask me. All right, no one looked, but we loaded into one of the worst maps ever. I can never get away from this match, or this map, so we're just gonna go ahead and play it. Another thing that would definitely help me play the game more is if they bring back prestiges. They took away prestiges and made it like more of like what is it, a season-based like ranking system, where each season has a certain amount of levels. You go up to that max level, and then basically at the end of the season, when a new one starts, set you back at 1, and you're back to doing the same shit, which I get is similar to prestiging, but you don't really have the same feeling, and you don't have to choose which gun you want to carry over and shit like that. And like, you know, the old school prestiging where you keep a item, keep a weapon. Like, that shit was cool. Grinding out just to see like where everybody was. Like, it's like, oh wow, that guy's 8th prestige, and the game's only been out for like 2 months. It's like, that guy's gonna be good and shit like that. I just really enjoyed like the prestige system compared to how they have it now. It's not that big of an issue, but I think something that small can definitely make a big difference in some of the casual community. And when it comes to guns, I'm pretty much okay with how they have it. Like, guns are okay. They just need to have more variety in like, and when I say variety, I mean like which guns are gonna be used and which guns are gonna be dog shit, like stuff like that. They have too many times in COD. Like, there'll be one good AR and one good sub and one good sniper, one good pistol. Like, they need to have more variety to where, like, maybe there's 2 ARs or 2 different subs, or you can use this sub on this map, or this sub if you play this role, this AR if you're more of a fast AR, this one if you're a Clayster and you just set on a heady, or you're like, it's just like different guns for different situations. They just have too many times where something is overpowered. Oh my goodness, I tried to finesse that guy. He must have, I turned on dead silence and it's like he knew where I was then. That's probably bugged too. But yeah, just little stuff like that. It's a little bit more variety. And that also comes down to them like being super consistent with how they update the guns, how they nerf and buff the guns. But that can always be figured out. Add 150 health, make it easier for you to balance the guns. So there's my little take on the guns. And when it comes to the classes and stuff like that, we really don't need the 15 to 30 different attachments for each thing, and each gun can have 10 attachments. Why can't we just bring back the old school pick 10 system where you get your gun, your secondary, your 2 attachments, your 3 perks, your stun nade, and you can kind of go crazy. Like, that's really all the customization you need. And I think when they add on all this like crazy psychotic like editing you can do, Jesus, to all the classes, I think that really just caters to the smallest audience out there. It's like the guy that gets on 2 times a week and he's like, oh, I use this gun in real life, and I use this grip. Oh, look at all these grips. Oh, that's cool. Like, you know, they're not in a game literally trying out each grip. They're literally just going through, they're looking at the stats, they're doing it that way. It's really just unnecessary. They're like flooding the gunsmith with too much, where it could be super simple for like your casual they would understand that better. So I think they're catering to the wrong audience there. They can definitely focus a little bit more on the gunsmith and make that a lot better, because it's a good concept, but not going in the right direction. All right, I don't think I'm gonna hop into another game, but the very last thing I need to talk about is for competitive Call of Duty. I want to talk about the Call of Duty League. Anybody that knows me knows that I've really enjoyed the Call of Duty competitive scene. Whether it started with MLG, went to CWL, and now it's with this Call of Duty League, where it's franchise league. And basically teams paid a certain price, which is, I'm pretty sure it's like 25 grand or $25 million spot. And these are the teams. I know I have some of them covered, but these are some of the teams right here that are in the league. If you don't know about it, they're doing a decent job to kind of promote the CDL to your casual audience. It took me a little bit of time to find this page where you can find the teams, the standings, the schedules, news, and then it also has a link to their website. If you're on PC, it'll go straight to a website, stuff like that. But I played competitive COD. I watch it all the time. I keep up with it. I follow all that stuff. I really enjoy it. And it's tough when you see these players that have been playing their whole life, and they finally feel like, okay, Activision cares. We're gonna get the money. We're gonna get the viewers. We're gonna get the care that we deserve in our game. They're gonna care about COD. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. But really, when it comes to the developer side, that's really what I'm gonna talk about now. If you want to hear about the Call of Duty League and stuff like that, I have a podcast that I'll link down below. FullSixty Podcast, where we talk about in-depth stuff with the Call of Duty League. I won't talk about it now, but when it comes to developers, they really have a good opportunity for the developers to work with the pro players, work with the CDL, and kind of reach a middle ground, because these last few CODs have just been miserable for competitive, and it seems like they don't give a shit, they don't care, they'd rather cater to the casual audience, which is fine, but it's like, when a competitive Call of Duty competitive player reaches out, or they supposedly ask for help from the competitive players, and they act like they're going to do something, or they act like they're listening, or a change is going to happen, and they just turn around and don't do it, or lie, or just act like they don't give a shit. That's when like the transparency needs to be there, and they need to realize that the pros aren't actually shitting on the game. Like, I'll shit on the game, but I'm still going to play it, is pretty much their point of view. They're still going to play the game. It's their life. It's all this, and that's why they care so much. There needs to be like somebody above the developers that is in talks with the CDL, and it kind of has like a little committee type thing where they go through and they make sure certain things are checked off the list, or certain things are heard in the right way. And just stuff like that. They could make this game they could make it cater so much better to competitive, and also keep the casuals too. But it just seems like every year they don't give a shit about competitive, and it takes like 4 or 5 months for anything to get changed, and then once everything gets changed, it's like I said, 4 or 5 months down the line, and everybody's already used to all the crappy stuff in the game. Just like trophies, they add trophies in the game like a month ago, but they don't even use them now because they're already used to not having trophies. So it's little things like that. So if you guys want to check out the Call of Duty League, go ahead and do that. Link it down below. Look on the thing. It's a good time to watch some COD, watch some pros play. It's interesting for sure. But yeah, that's kind of like my little bit of a rant video. It's like my 5th time recording this, so hopefully, and I think this was the best one that I've done so far. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what you think of my opinions on the game. If you want me to go into a more in-depth video, that'd be cool. I'm down to do that. I'm down to hear your guys' ideas, everything like that. So let me know down below. Like I said, appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.